What's going on, my favorite insert racial slur here? How's it going, guys? Jerry App is back again. Hello, guys. What's up? Today we have number 34, mainline episode number 34, and we have another WarioWare game, man. Yeah, this one I love. This is one I really did not like the first time I played through it, and I played through it about however long ago when it came out. Let me look it up, actually. Okay, it came out everywhere for the Nintendo Switch September 10th, 2021. So it's just about 4 years old, which is kind of crazy. I feel like this one was newer, but man, dude, time has been just flying ever since 2020 and the whole fake virus happened. Like, I don't know, man. Time just does not stop going. It is brutal. But yeah, so we got a 4-year-old game on our hands. And yeah, like I said before, I did not like this one when I played it through the first time. I don't know what it was. It just did not click with me. However, this time around, I just got done playing it again through the story mode. This one has a lot more to offer, which I'll talk about a little later in the video. But this one, I didn't like it at first, but the more and more I got into it, I actually do like it. I appreciate it. It's definitely not as good as the other entries are. I don't know what the general consensus on that is actually too. Do people like this game? Do people hate this game? I personally prefer the older ones just because this one, okay, I'll just explain it really quickly. This one is very different in the sense where you actually control certain characters and models instead of just completing a mini game, you know what I mean? Like in the older titles, all of the mini games are basically like their own unique little thing that you just do inside each and every game, right? But in this one, all of the mini games are kind of shared, and the thing is you have characters that do different abilities that make you clear the level differently. Like Wario has a sideways dash, Mona the scooter girl has like a boomerang she throws. There's Ashley, like the little demon girl, she kind of flies around wherever. Orbulon, not the robot, the fucking alien, the gray alien guy has he flies around on a UFO and he has a tractor beam that lifts stuff up. I'm not going to go through every character, but yeah, that's basically just what every character kind of brings a different thing to the table that they can do, and they can play a mini game in a different way, which that was the main reason I didn't like this game the first time I played through it. I liked it because it was different now. It was a different experience, but I feel like it just takes away from the game. I don't know. The games just don't feel as unique, which is kind of crazy to say because they all are unique in their own way, but I don't know. It's just something weird I just didn't really understand about it. I mean, I respect them for trying something different. I just don't really know if it works with the game flow. I mean, I don't even know. It works fine, right? It's just like a little nitpick I have about the game, I guess. So it's not that bad. I just really feel like some of the characters, I really just don't like the way they move. I just stuck with the same 3 or 4 or even 5 characters throughout the run. But that's pretty much the biggest flip in the gameplay. Everything else is the same. They're just a bunch of micro games like WarioWare normally is. It's not like Mario Party or other minigame games where, there's a couple of them or there's a lot less of them and they take a longer time to complete. WarioWare, I feel like pretty much coined the term micro games, where it's like a bunch of these rapid fire games that you just play through. They take a second or two to defeat, and then the boss levels take a little longer than normal, but they're still not that long at all. I feel like the longest boss was at the end of the game, and that wasn't even that long too. It took 3 or 4 minutes, I would say, to beat, but yeah, that's it as far as gameplay wise. The story mode pretty much follows the same thing WarioWare always does, especially with the first game, right? Where you start off with Wario's games, and then once you beat those, you move on to all the other characters, and then you unlock the characters in this game as you complete their tasks. And they each get a cutscene that builds up a part of the story as well. Speaking of which, I kind of do want to get into the story a little bit now and just how brilliant it really is. If you play Nintendo games, you really don't play them for the story. Mario doesn't really have an exciting story. None of these Nintendo games really do. But WarioWares are just so charming, man. I just love these games. Like the very first Wario, I'm not sure about all the middle games, and I know there's another Switch one I haven't played, but in the very first WarioWare that came out for Game Boy Advance, it was like Wario getting his company started, like WarioWare, where they made games. And the whole first game was just about getting his friends' games all inside of his game and just building it from the ground up, which is very cool. But to get it together, they already have the whole studio of WarioWare made. And the whole purpose of this game is they go inside of their actual game and they start squashing the bugs that are in the game. And then you perfect all the games that are already made. Which is, I don't know, man. I just really love how you can see the time jump there from game to game or whatever. Like I said earlier, I don't know much about the like all the middle games because I just haven't played them simply in forever. Like I can't tell you the last time I played like the DS one or the 3DS one or even the one on the Wii. I think it's called Smooth Moves. And then, like I said before, there's another one on the Switch that I have to play as well. I just love these fucking games, man. They're just so easy to pick up and just fucking play, you know? In typical WarioWare fashion, this one does have cutscenes as well. Typically, you get a cutscene before or after sometimes in these games when you go to, start somebody else's new challenge or whatever. And I just want to touch on the graphics and stuff really quick. Like, it does that thing where it kind of looks cartoony. The characters do, but all of the buildings and, like, the environment looks real. So it kind of, like, meshes two art styles into one, which I love. I just think it really pops, man. This is going to age super well. Like, in 50 years or 60 years, if I go to play this again, it's going to look just like it came out today, I swear. There's just something about these graphics that age super, super well. And I just love the way it's designed, man. Like, they really cooked with the design on this game and in the art department. I want to touch on some of the characters really quick, man. I feel like a lot of the characters in WarioWare are just underutilized, man. There is just so many, like, interesting designs and characters in this series and in this game in general. Like, I'm surprised, like, Kat and Anna, the ninja girls, like, I'm surprised they don't have a spin-off. They would be really interesting. Like, Ashley and Red, the ghost girl and her little devil, I'm surprised they don't have some sort of spin-off that would be, like, interesting. Or even, like, Spritz and Dixie, I think is his name. Or the cat and the dog, the cab drivers, right? What the fuck are their names again? Dribble and Spitz is their name. How could I forget? I mean, can't you just totally see these two in like a Crazy Taxi spin-off game? I don't know. I sure could. Even like the Nintendo kid 9-Volt and his mom 5-Volt, which is actually pretty cool. I love that they introduce his mom into this game and she actually becomes like a playable character. And I'll just explain her really quick. She's actually pretty funny. She's like permanently asleep, and the way she moves around is like she has this like sleep demon that you move around the screen, and then when you click A, the sleep demon will like kill whatever's in the area and then teleport her to where it was. I don't know, very interesting mechanic. But yeah, I could see like the Nintendo guys, why don't they have their own spin-off game? Like, that seems like a slam dunk. 9-Volt, if you've played WarioWare before, you would know 9-Volt. 9-Volt is pretty much like the fan favorite as far as just mini games go in general. I don't know if that's true anyway. I just pulled that completely out of my ass, but I just assumed he would be because, like, why not? Dude, everybody loves the classic Nintendo games. Like, everybody. I'm a huge fan of them personally. I'm just surprised they never really did or tried a spin-off with just classic Nintendo stuff in 9-Volt. I don't know. Seems kind of like a slam dunk. I also love the fact that Pyro or Pioro, however you say it, is the final character and the final boss of the game. Like, if you don't know, I'll just explain it really quick. Pyro or Pioro, however you say it, it's like this little red bird mascot that you always thought was just a video game within the WarioWare universe. Like, in the WarioWare universe, this is like the top selling game, and that's kind of why Wario kind of makes his own game. He's like, oh, we can capitalize off that. We can make a game that's better than that or whatever. And he ends up being the final boss and the final character you get. It's just this stupid, dumb little red bird that uses its tongue to like move around. I don't know, man. I just loved that. I thought it was super funny. It was something I forgot that I came back to, and I'm like, oh my god, this thing exists. I totally forgot it was a thing. Just to kind of touch on what I said earlier, it's just a shame that Nintendo will never use any of these characters outside of WarioWare, and they don't even use Wario that much outside of Mario. Like, it just sucks that Nintendo only sees like profits with Mario games, Zelda games, and then like the occasional Metroid, right? It really sucks that all these cool and interesting like design characters kind of just get swept under the rug just to never be just to never see the light of anything, you know? It just kind of sucks. It's like the whole Waluigi situation all over again. Like, you have this character that people love for some reason. I actually don't know why people love Waluigi. That's besides the point, though. I just think it sucks that Nintendo has this huge cast of characters that they'll probably just never capitalize on because they think if they don't slap like Mario on the title, if they don't slap Zelda on the title, then they probably just think it won't sell, you know? Which is just very unfortunate, man. It just sucks. I feel like I should briefly mention all the other modes in this game. So in the main menu, there's a story mode, and then you unlock more things in the main menu as you continue playing through the story mode. There's also the variety pack, which you can play with. I forgot to mention, you can play the story with 2 players. I never did. I don't know if it's more fun or what's different about it, but yeah, you can play it 2 players. There's the variety pack menu, which is basically just, if you've played any other WarioWare game before, you know there's like those 2-player like specific games that you can play. This is just a bunch of those mini games that you can play with multiple people. There's the Playpedia that they have in every WarioWare where you can replay a certain mini game or boss fight, just that specific one over and over and over again. There's the crew menu where you can go to look at all of the crew characters that you unlock and play as. And there's like an emporium that you can go in and buy items in. I never really fucked with this. You get play points throughout every pretty much everything that you play in this game you get points for, and you can use these points to go and buy these items or whatever, these little prezzies they call them, like presents. I don't really know what the point of this is. You can even customize what your characters look like, which is pretty cool, but it's not something I'm really all that interested in. But my favorite thing about this menu is the fact that you have your play data in here, which you can literally go in and see like your characters, how many times you've used them in game, and like their win rate. My highest character is Cricket with an 88% win rate and 79 plays. He just jumps super high, really basic. I just use him all the time. It's just cool to see like what you use the most and what you were successful with. Like I had a 100% win rate with Ashley until I fucked it up. But I do have a couple 100s with characters I just don't normally use, like 18 Volt. I have a 100% on, and I only used him 9 times. Lulu, I've used 3 times with a 100% win rate. I don't know. It's just cool. This is just something they've never really done in WarioWare before that I appreciate. Honestly, probably because they never had characters that you play as specifically that was unique to this game. But either or, still very cool. And then last but not least, there is the Wario Cup, which is kind of interesting. It's a one-player mode, and this is what kind of makes this game live service in a way. I say live service in air quotes because it's not really live service, but it's the most live service WarioWare game that is available, I guess. Basically, what the Wario Cup is I gotta be honest with you, I don't really know entirely what it is, but there's certain playlists and different challenges that come weekly, or yeah, I think it's weekly. So it changes the challenge every week, and you can turn it on unranked and ranked. And you can play with people around the world and just try to get a better score than them and then get up on the leaderboard, which is just cool. You know, it adds another layer to that replayability in this game, which if you're going to do that, you know, props to you. I'm happy for you, but I'm not about it. I just like doing the story mode, trying to unlock all the games, and then moving on to the next thing. Because that's just what I'm about, man. I got a lot of shit to play. I got to move on here. So there's definitely an argument to be made that this is the most complete WarioWare ever released. This is the most packed full of content and endgame stuff, which is pretty cool. You know, it's just the characters that throw me off, man. I don't like playing as the characters specifically. I like when the minigame is just its own kind of entity. You know, they each... Like in the older games, they just had so much life, you know? I don't know how to explain it, man. It's something, if you haven't played it, you wouldn't know until you played it. I don't know, man. With all that being said, that's pretty much all I can talk about when it comes to WarioWare, guys. I mean, the game, if you've played any of them before, you would know that there's not a ton of content in these games, but that's what it's all about, man. It's all about the rush of just completing a fuck ton of small games. So, yeah, that's going to be it. That's pretty much going to be it. We're going to do our 2 segments and then probably sign off here. But yeah, would I recommend WarioWare? Get it together. Let me think here for a second. If this is your first ever WarioWare title, I would say start with something else. Maybe start with the first one just to see where the roots came from and just to see where it grew into. But yeah, I would definitely recommend it. Like, if you're a heavy WarioWare fan like me, it's definitely worth a playthrough. It's a different experience for sure, and I appreciate that it tries to do something a little different than the series normally does, and I just don't know if I prefer it, but yeah, I would say start with anything else if you're new to WarioWare. If you've played WarioWare before, then yeah, try it. You know, let me know in the comments below what you think of this game. I genuinely am curious. I don't know if this game is liked by people. I like it, but it's just not my favorite version of it. So yeah, that's going to do it for the WarioWare talk, guys. We're going to move on to our last 2 segments. If you're a Jerry App familiar, if you're a Jerry App listener, you would know what is next. It is Retard of the Week. Retard of the Week coming in. We're going to try to find some comments to disagree with or some to give props to. And I don't even know where to look for reviews of this game, because do they have reviews on Nintendo Store? I got to check that really quick. Let me look at the Nintendo Store, and if not, we'll try to look up Google reviews or something like that. So let me get back to it. Okay, so no Retard this week. No Retard. I actually went through and scrolled through a bunch. I didn't really see anything I liked, but this comment actually right here, I needed to give props to. It kind of awakened to these inner thoughts that I had that I didn't really realize, but I was thinking them subconsciously. So here it is. Robbie Buxton says 10 months ago, 1-star rating. As a longtime fan of WarioWare games, I can honestly say this is the worst one going. Even the ancient one on the GBA is more fun than this Borefest. The minigames are repetitive and uninspired. The decision not to use Switch's motion controls in any way was a particularly bad one. Which, you know, on the surface, I feel like that's exactly why I didn't like this one that much. It was on the Switch. I feel like subconsciously I was expecting there to be motion controls, and then when there wasn't, it kind of just felt incomplete. So yeah, this comment right here actually really helped me finalize my thoughts on WarioWare Get It Together. Like, on one hand, I'm glad it doesn't have motion controls because I have a Switch Lite, which doesn't have the motion controls on it, so I don't think I'd be able to play the new game or this game if it had motion controls, which kind of sucks. But at the same time, I guess that's kind of why they made the newest one, WarioWare Move It. This game came out in 2023, which is kind of surprising. Like, that's why I thought it was surprising why it came out so soon after Get It Together. So that pretty much just confirms all the conspiracy I have, which makes me think Get It Together was literally just they wanted to shit out a quick WarioWare game to sell a bunch while they were working on the stuff that had motion controls. So that's what it seems like to me. So I definitely got to play WarioWare Move It eventually. Maybe I got to borrow like my brother's Switch or something and buy this game. But yeah, I do want to try the new one. But yeah, this comment. So thank you to Robbie or whatever your name was. I already forgot it. Sorry, man. Yeah, you kind of just pointed out what I always thought all along that I didn't really know to put into words. So yeah, I always love reading the comments because it kind of like awakens a thought I kind of had subconsciously while I do these. So thank you again, my boy Robbie, for pointing that out for me. But yeah, I definitely want to try the new one now. That definitely makes me think that this one is more of a filler game, if that makes any sense. Still a fun experience though. With that out of the way, let's move on to the last segment of the day, which is the game report. Game report. What have I been playing over the past week? I will let you guys know. It hasn't been all that much. We're still playing Overwatch. No different there. Not going to sit here and explain it. Still love the game. Looking forward to future updates. Deadlock. Been playing a lot of Deadlock. Trying to learn Deadlock before it gets officially released. So that way when it actually does come out, we'll have an edge over most of the competition anyways. Yeah, fun game. It seems like a lot of the player base kind of left already waiting for the game to be finished because all the games are very hard and a lot of people know how to play the game. But anyways, still having a lot of fun with it. I actually absolutely love Deadlock. I've been playing WarioWare Get It Together. As you all know, you just listened to an old episode about it. So there's that. I was going to start Metroid Prime Hunters on the DS, but I actually started Sunset Overdrive because I saw it on Game Pass. I don't know if I'll stick with this one, though. It's kind of outdated a little bit. We'll see how it goes, but I've been playing Sunset Overdrive. I wanted to start Metroid Prime Hunters on the DS, but the controls are kind of just killing me right now. I got to figure it out. This game is just, I don't know, man. It is not controlling well for me. Maybe I'm doing something wrong or have the settings set up the wrong way, but it has been brutal, man. But that's really it, man. Just mainly Overwatch, mainly Deadlock, and then a little bit of Nintendo in there to spice it up a little bit. Anyways, that's going to do it, guys. Bit of a shorter one today, but like I said earlier, it is WarioWare, man. You cannot go on a huge, 2-hour rant about these games, and I wouldn't want to anyway, because it's just simply not that interesting to listen to. I would rather encourage you to go play any of them. Go play any of them, too. Not just Get It Together. Maybe play it as an end game goal to play eventually, but yeah, definitely play the other ones before this one, and you will have a much better time, I promise you. Anyways, JYAP fam, that is going to do it. Don't forget to exercise, you fat piece of shit. Don't forget to drink water, you fat piece of shit. Take care of your body. You only got one. With all that being said, have a nice week. Have a nice weekday. Have a nice weekend whenever and wherever you are listening. And yeah, peace. Goodbye.